Hello to everyone. Hello for another story of the day. Well, I must say maybe a better story of the evening. This evening I will tell you the story and introduce you to Manuel Garcia. Who was Manuel Garcia? Well, maybe some of you know this name from the Garcia singing method. You can actually still use it nowadays. You can even book it on Amazon. Well, who was Manuel Garcia? Manuel Garcia was the first Almaviva in music history, the tenor for whom Rossini composed actually Almaviva, the role of Almaviva in his beautiful Barbiere of Siviglia. But let's start from the beginning of the history. So he was born in Seville in Spain in 1775, so he was actually Spanish. And already at the age of 18, he was a really famous singer and composer and conductor. He was actually the father of a very musical family, because he was the father of the world famous Maria Malibran, who was born in 1808. And also he was the father of Pauline Viardot, who was born in 1821. And he was also the father of Manuel Garcia, who was born in 1805. And Manuel Garcia's son was a very famous pedagogue for voice, and also the inventor of the laryngoscope around the middle of the 19th century. He was also the teacher of Jenny Lind, the Swedish nightingale. So it was really a very musical family, which influenced actually the singing and music history for more than one century. And Manuel Garcia was himself so a tenor and a very successful pedagogue and teacher. And the story is that he moved from Spain to Paris, where he had his debut, and then to Italy, where actually he sang first in the opera Elisabetta, Regina d'Inghilterra of Rossini, the role of Norfolk. And after that, Rossini was so impressed of his acting and of his singing that he composed for him, as I said, Almaviva, the famous role of Almaviva in Barbiere di Siviglia. And so actually Manuel Garcia made Rossini famous in the whole world. Why in the whole world? Because actually he exported Rossini to America. He created a company with his own family members, and invited by Lorenzo da Ponte, the librettist of Mozart trilogy, who was living and working in New York, he actually went to America and visited New York in 1825. The interesting thing is that the audience there in America at that time were not used to hear operas in original Italian language, and also they were not used to hear them in full length. So actually Manuel Garcia brought there 6 Rossini operas, so also the famous Barbiere di Siviglia. I think you're hearing now the music in the background. This is the overture, and also Don Giovanni in Italian language. He also tried to actually create and found an Italian company there in New York, but well, he was not successful. After that, he left New York. He went to Mexico, always in this tour with his family, and at the end he landed in Paris, where he remained and where he actually was the most important exponent of Rossini's music, and one of the most actually requested voice teachers of his time. And you have to know maybe something interesting that you don't know. Wait, I wanted to increase the volume, and that's it here. And maybe you don't know that Barbiere di Siviglia actually was composed in a rush, I think in 2 or 3 weeks. Some persons say 13 days, some 20 days, and that Rossini actually in the premiere had a very difficult evening, a disappointing evening, because in the audience there were the followers of Paisiello, who already composed the Barbiere di Siviglia, who were there to boo Rossini, what they actually did. And it was a disaster. It was a disaster in a way that Rossini escaped from the theater, hiding himself in the theater, in the hotel, in his bed, trying to escape this shame. And you have to know that the next day, the next performance actually was such an incredible big success that Rossini found his comfort and was happy again. And actually, as you know, certainly Barbiere di Siviglia is nowadays one of the most loved and performed operas ever. So that is just a little note about the Barbiere di Siviglia, and this was the introduction to this very special person, Manuel Garcia, born in 1775 and died in 1832, musician, composer, singer, and voice pedagogue, who also left us an important singing method which you can use and which you can book also on Amazon. So that was the little short introduction to Manuel Garcia. That was the story of the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see us very soon for another story of the day. Blessings and greetings to every one of you from Capucine, from Italy. Bye!